Have you heard about the first black baseball player in America's Major League? This is one of the most iconic sports stories ever. It is about a man who, despite all the racial abuse and limitations he encountered, was determined to succeed. He broke through all barriers and became an icon in the baseball world. Join us as we see the story of the living legend. The movie begins with journalist Smith Wendell narrating the triumphant return of America's greatest generation in 1945 after World War II. As life began to return to normal, baseball became a symbol of return to everyday life, with players like Musial, DiMaggio, and Williams representing democratic values that transcended politics, race, and religion. However, the reality for African Americans in post-war America was far from celebratory. Despite their contributions in the war, they continued to face racism, segregation, and Jim Crow laws. In 1946, the entirety of Major League Baseball's 400 players were white. However, this all changed in 1947 when the number dropped to 399, as one player joined the Major League. The man behind this change was Branch Rickey, the general manager of the Brooklyn Dodgers. Rickey, despite resistance from all sides, made the bold decision to break baseball's racial barriers by signing a black player. When he shared his plan with his scouts Harold and Sukeforth, they were skeptical, knowing that this move would face significant opposition from both the public and the baseball community. Rickey acknowledged the risks, understanding that integrating baseball would make him an outcast, especially in Flatbush, where the local newspapers and fans were likely to protest. Yet he remained resolute, recognizing the large number of African American baseball fans in New York and the financial opportunity this represented. Around the same time, Jackie Robinson, a multi-sport athlete from UCLA playing for the Kansas City Monarchs, was already making waves in the world of baseball. His athletic prowess caught the attention of both supporters and critics, but his defiant spirit stood out to Rickey. While some were concerned about Robinson's temper and the fact that he had been court-martialed for refusing to sit in the back of a military bus, Rickey saw these traits as signs of strength and conviction. He believed Robinson was the ideal candidate to withstand the pressures of breaking baseball's color barrier, especially given their shared Methodist faith. Rickey was confident Robinson would be able to turn the other cheek when faced with racism and hostility, a key trait he believed was essential to making integration a success. Rickey eventually met with Robinson, offering him a contract with a $600 monthly salary and a $3,500 signing bonus. However, Rickey emphasized that Robinson needed to control his temper in the face of provocation. The journey ahead would be filled with adversity, but Robinson's restraint and dignity would prove to be the best response. When Robinson asked Rickey if he wanted a player who lacked the courage to fight back, Rickey replied that he wanted someone with the strength to not fight back, reminding him about the teachings of Christ regarding turning the other cheek. Having secured the deal, Robinson shared the news with his longtime partner, Ray, and proposed marriage. Ray eagerly agreed and they were soon married. The couple reflected on their love and commitment to each other as they prepared to face the challenges ahead together. As Jackie and Ray traveled to join the Brooklyn Dodgers for spring training, they immediately faced the harsh realities of segregation. At one point, Ray's insistence on using a restroom reserved for white people led to their flight seats being given away to a white couple. This was just the beginning of the racial hostility they would endure. Upon arriving at their destination, Wendell Smith, a black journalist from the Pittsburgh Courier, greeted the Robinsons. Rickey had arranged for them to stay with Joe and Duff Harris, local advocates for African American rights, providing them with a supportive environment during spring training in Daytona Beach. As Jackie began training with the Dodgers, tensions were high. Smith, tasked with documenting Robinson's journey, advised him on how to handle the inevitable challenges from both the press and his fellow players. Despite some initial awkwardness, Robinson remained focused, determined to prove himself on the field. Reporters bombarded him with questions, but he handled them with composure, demonstrating his quick wit and practical approach to handling the spotlight. Montreal Royals manager Clay Hopper was tasked with overseeing Robinson's integration into the team. Despite his personal prejudices, Hopper was instructed by Rickey to treat Robinson fairly, a directive that would test the racial attitudes of the entire team. During a game between the Dodgers and their minor league affiliate, the Montreal Royals, Robinson faced intense hostility from the crowd. Racial slurs and boos filled the air as he stepped up to bat. Despite the vitriol, Robinson remained unfazed. His focus and resilience under pressure earned him a walk after he refused to swing at bad pitches. Once on base, his aggressive base running rattled the opposing team, leading to a mistake by the pitcher and allowing Robinson to score a run. This moment exemplified Robinson's ability to rise above adversity, not only showcasing his athletic prowess but also revealing his inner strength and determination. His resilience in the face of racism left a lasting impression on both his supporters and detractors, proving that he was not just a player but a trailblazer challenging the status quo. As Jackie and Wendell continued their journey, they encountered a hostile man warning them that trouble was brewing in the local community due to Jackie's presence. Fearing for Robinson's safety, Wendell secretly arranged for their departure to Daytona Beach under the cover of night. Robinson found humor in the situation, thinking at first that he was being cut from the team, but the reality of the racial hostility surrounding him was sobering. Despite the ongoing challenges, Robinson's talent on the field could not be denied. Even when a law enforcement officer forced him off the field during a game, citing segregation laws, Robinson's skill and perseverance continued to impress. His ability to remain composed under pressure earned him the respect of his teammates, as well as encouragement from local supporters who believed in giving everyone a fair chance. Branch Rickey, impressed by Robinson's performance, informed him that he had earned a spot with the Montreal Royals. Robinson, though pleased, questioned Rickey's motivations. Rickey candidly explained that integrating baseball with talented African-American players was not only about social justice, but also a smart business decision aimed at winning the World Series and increasing profits. This pragmatic approach revealed Rickey's confidence in Robinson's abilities and his belief that success on the field would ultimately transcend racial barriers. As Robinson prepared for opening day with the Royals, a young boy bid him farewell at the train station, symbolizing the hope and inspiration Robinson represented to a new generation of African-American youth. April 18, 1946, marked the opening game of the International League season, where Robinson's exceptional talent once again took center stage. He hit a home run, leading his team to victory and solidifying his place in baseball history. Shortly after, Robinson learned that he and Ray were expecting a child, adding another layer of personal significance to his journey. When Jackie Robinson's son was born, he made a solemn promise to always be there for him. This promise stemmed from his memories of his own father's abandonment, which had a profound impact on Jackie throughout his life. His personal vow not only deepened his commitment as a father, but also reinforced his determination to succeed in his career. Jackie was resolute in proving his worth both on and off the field, knowing that he had an important role to play in breaking barriers for future generations. As another spring training began in Panama, Dodgers executive branch Rickey woke manager Leo Durocher early one morning for a conversation about Jackie Robinson. Rickey sought Durocher's stance on Robinson joining the Dodgers. Durocher, known for his win-at-all-costs mentality, expressed no objection to Robinson's inclusion, stating that his primary concern was winning games. As long as Robinson could contribute to the team's success, Durocher was willing to play him. Rickey, however, urged Durocher to see the bigger picture, emphasizing that Jackie's presence on the team had social significance. He reminded Durocher of the biblical values of fairness and unity, underscoring that integrating the team was about more than just baseball. It was about standing up for what was right. Despite Durocher's support, not all of the Dodgers players felt the same way. Some players, unhappy with the idea of playing alongside Robinson, signed a petition against him joining the team. However, Durocher confronted them forcefully, dismissing the petition outright. He warned his players that if they didn't accept Robinson and focus on improving their own performance, they could easily be replaced by other talented Negro players who would inevitably join the league. While dealing with internal issues, Rickey also faced external pressures. The Catholic Youth Organization threatened to boycott the Dodgers due to Durocher's personal scandal involving an actress, which reflected poorly on the team's moral standing. Despite Rickey's attempts to intervene, Baseball Commissioner Happy Chandler suspended Durocher for a year. This suspension came at a crucial time, leaving a leadership vacuum as the Dodgers prepared to integrate Robinson into the team. Rickey now faced the additional challenge of finding a new manager to guide the Dodgers through this pivotal season. Meanwhile, Jackie continued to prove his talent during exhibition games, solidifying his value to the team. The stakes remained high, not just for Jackie but also for his supporters, including sports writer Wendell Smith. Both men were navigating a landscape filled with discrimination, and their shared struggle for respect and recognition only strengthened their bond. As the 1947 season approached, the Dodgers still lacked a manager. Amid this uncertainty, Jackie received a long-awaited call from Rickey's office, informing him that it was time to sign his contract and officially join the Brooklyn Dodgers. Jackie's promotion from the Montreal Royals to the Dodgers marked the beginning of a new chapter in both his career and the history of baseball. Upon his arrival in Brooklyn, Jackie met his new teammates, some of whom greeted him with skepticism and hostility. On opening day, Robinson made his major league debut to a mixed reception. While some fans and players supported him, others were overtly racist and hostile. Jackie maintained his composure throughout, focused on proving himself on the field. Rickey, meanwhile, was still searching for a new manager. He turned to Bert Schotten, a retired baseball manager, and persuaded him to take on the role despite Schotten's initial reluctance. Rickey appealed to Schotten's love for the game and emphasized the historic nature of the opportunity to manage a team on the brink of major social change. Schotten agreed, stepping into the leadership role with a calm, straightforward approach, focused on guiding the Dodgers to success. As the season continued, Robinson faced increasing scrutiny and racist taunts, particularly from Philadelphia Phillies manager Ben Chapman. Chapman's relentless harassment became notorious, but Jackie remained unshaken, demonstrating immense resilience. The pressure also affected Robinson's teammates, with some finally stepping up to defend him. Eddie Stanky, one of Robinson's teammates, was particularly vocal in condemning Chapman's behavior, challenging him to direct his attacks toward someone who could fight back instead of continuously targeting Robinson. Jackie's perseverance paid off when he hit his first major league home run. Despite the ongoing pressure, Robinson's performance on the field continued to improve, earning him applause from supportive fans. After the particularly tense game, reporters questioned Ben Chapman about his treatment of Robinson. Chapman, however, dismissed any accusations of unfairness, defending his racial slurs by claiming they were no different from the derogatory terms used against other ethnic groups in baseball. Meanwhile, in private, Ricky discussed the situation with Harold, pointing out that the hostility Robinson faced was, in an ironic way, aiding the cause for integration. The more hate Robinson received, the more public sympathy he garnered, helping to push the social agenda forward. Days before their next game, the Philadelphia manager Herb Pennock contacted Ricky to express concerns about Robinson playing. Pennock hinted that the Phillies might refuse to play if Robinson took the field. Ricky firmly rejected this notion, stating that the Dodgers would play with Robinson and would be more than willing to claim a forfeiture if the Phillies refused. As the Dodgers traveled to various cities, they encountered more discrimination, including being denied hotel accommodations due to Robinson's presence. After years of staying at the same hotel, the team was suddenly told they were no longer welcome because they had a black player. The incident caused tension within the team, with some players like Dixie Walker blaming Robinson for the team's troubles. Jackie, however, stood his ground, telling his teammates that he wasn't going anywhere. Amid growing backlash over Chapman's treatment of Robinson, Herb Pennock eventually ordered Chapman to reconcile with Jackie publicly. Chapman reluctantly agreed to a staged photo opportunity, hoping to salvage his reputation. Jackie was understandably skeptical, knowing that Chapman's gesture was insincere, but he agreed to participate, recognizing that the photo could serve as a symbolic step toward change, regardless of Chapman's true intentions. Later in the season, tensions flared during a game against the Pittsburgh Pirates when pitcher Fritz Ostermuller deliberately hit Robinson in the head with a pitch. The incident caused an uproar among the Dodgers, with Jackie's teammates now rallying to his defense. Jackie, however, remained composed, understanding that he had to endure these trials if he was going to succeed in breaking down racial barriers. Teammate Pee Wee Reese, troubled by a threatening letter he received, approached Ricky with concerns about playing alongside Robinson in Cincinnati, near his hometown. Ricky reassured Reese, revealing that Jackie had been receiving death threats for some time, and that even the FBI was involved. He encouraged Reese to stand by Jackie and take pride in his public support of integration. In Cincinnati, as the crowd hurled racial insults at Robinson, Pee Wee Reese made a powerful gesture by standing beside Jackie, publicly showing his solidarity. The simple act of placing his arm around Jackie sent a clear message to the hostile crowd, helping to humanize Robinson in their eyes. During the game, Robinson suffered an injury when an opposing player intentionally stepped on him. However, Jackie refused to let the physical and emotional toll stop him from playing. He insisted that the team continue to focus on winning. In a conversation with Ricky, Jackie discussed the larger impact of his role in baseball. Ricky shared a personal story about a talented black player, Charlie Thomas, whom he had once coached but failed to adequately support. This memory fueled Ricky's determination to integrate baseball, and he credited Jackie's bravery with reigniting his own love for the game. As the Dodgers approached the final game of the season, they were on the cusp of a championship. In a tense showdown against the Pittsburgh Pirates, Robinson faced Fritz Ostermuller once again. Despite the hostility, Jackie stayed focused, waiting for the right pitch. When it came, he hit a home run that secured the Dodgers' victory and their place in the World Series. This triumphant moment was not only a personal victory for Jackie, but also a milestone in the fight against racial prejudice in sports. As he rounded the bases, the crowd's cheers reflected a growing respect for his talent and resilience. The home run was celebrated as more than just a baseball achievement. It was a cultural moment that resonated with fans in Brooklyn and beyond. The story of Jackie Robinson's journey encapsulates the highs and lows of his fight against racial barriers. His triumph was a testament to his enduring spirit, the collective efforts of those who supported him, and the transformative power of courage and solidarity. As the film concludes, it's revealed that Branch Rickey and Pee Wee Reese were later inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Wendell Smith became a successful sports journalist, while Stanky and Ralph, Jackie Robinson's teammates, also found success in baseball. Chapman was fired as coach, and Walker was traded to Pittsburgh the following season. Ed Charles, the boy who once met Jackie at the train station, became a baseball star. Jackie Robinson earned numerous honors, including winning the World Series and Rookie of the Year, and was inducted into the Hall of Fame. His iconic number 42 is now celebrated annually in baseball, and remains the only number retired across all teams, symbolizing his impact on the sport.